صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. What you need to do to have your dua answered. And there's one thing which is you need to recognize answered in Arabic. Here you come back to the Arabic. قد استجيبت دعوتكما يا موسى. When Musa asked Allah Azza wa Jal to destroy Pharaoh and his army, Allah Azza wa Jal said, your request has been accepted. استجيبت دعوتكما يا موسى. So we have to recognize two things. When your application has been accepted, استجيب from jawab here, from jawab, yeah, or accepted answer, and حققت, which is executed. Executed, fulfilled. Because that's, if you know that word, will solve a lot of worries about. I made dua, it wasn't answered. It's accepted, received, registered. We'll come back to you. The message, we've got the message, we will come back to you. Because not everything you can get it immediately. I mean, there's things which need planning, changing planning, convincing others, doing things, waiting for that guy and that guy and that guy, waiting, or giving him a chance. Like with Musa, Allah gave Pharaoh more chance to repent, more chance to let the sons of Israel leave. And so you have to bear this in mind. What you need to do to get your dua accepted, you're not going to need more than what Allah obliged you to do. And if you do more of what Allah obliged you to do, then your dua will be accepted. As simple as that. Do more salah, more zakah, more hajj, more fasting, more good deeds, and more dhikr to Allah Azza wa Jal, and do more nawafil. So the important one, and you will see later, you will probably need to do something which is super special. It's really something you are amazed you've done it. So we'll see how it goes here. Allah Azza wa Jal said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض أإله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. So the teachers tell us that Allah Azza wa Jal obliged himself to answer the one who is desperate, the one who is really distressed. So when you are distressed, you ask Allah Azza wa Jal, and you really truly want Allah to help, and Allah will help you. And in this case, Allah could help the kafir and the Muslim, and the one who is with him or not with him, give him a chance to repent. And we mentioned a lot of stories. A lot of people actually became believers in Allah Azza wa Jal when they are rescued from a very stressful situation, very bad. And I'm sure yesterday when they tried to kill Imran Khan, I'm sure Allah Azza wa Jal saved them, because the way they showed us on telly, the one who shot him, he was in the crowd. How dare somebody in the crowd? He will be crushed to death. I was amazed they didn't crush him to death. But they shouldn't hand him to the authority. They should take him to a special court, send him somewhere in another country to judge him. Because they will say and come back and say, oh, he was schizophrenic, or he was...
No, he's already made that vote because he was doing some blasphemous things. That's why I tried to kill him.
Because he was doing
some
blasphemy things.
Yeah, which is wrong, which is just a complete lie.
No, the guy, if he's in sound mind, he could have been killed. Obviously, he's lucky he's not killed. And then he will end by living in Hawaii somewhere because fulfilled the job he was supposed to do. Like, in where, in Sweden or Norway, when he shot the 52 people dead in the young youth camp. You remember a few years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, he's mentally ill. If one injured another guy, but he's from Sudan or he's from Egypt, he's terrorist. That guy is mentally ill.
Yeah,
Now,
so with this particular guy, I think he said that yeah, because that music on while the azan was being played, that's why they wanted to kill him.
Yes.
because they caught
why
him
did he so
alive.
violent with you?
They caught him alive and they preserved his life. But I think personally, I think they should have taken him, smuggled him somewhere where there is a court which cannot be influenced by the government in Pakistan. So otherwise you will find him. You will find him somewhere. He will go to prison, 70 years, hard labor and things, and then he will be living in Hawaii or be living in somewhere nice, somewhere, and his family.
He's not a lone wolf, is he? He's not acting alone, is he? That's the thing.
Yeah,
Not
this
just
is why he
you.
needs to be investigated.
For this dua istajab, yeah? I think the best story is, the three men
Hold
in
on.
cave.
Yeah, this is the cave. I took a picture of it. Yeah. So this is what we were talking about. You need, first you need to do what Allah obliged you to do, fara'id, and then you do nawafil. You do sunan and nawafil, and then your dua will be mustajab. Allah will be your eye, by Him you see, your ear by Him you hear, your hand by Him you hit, and your leg by Him you walk. And if you ask Him, He will give you. He said, "Ista'adani la'idana." We want protection from me, I'll protect him. So all of us, you can do that. There's nothing special. But I advise you, and I advise myself, that you really need to have something which is really super special, because you could name that things to Allah. Like these three guys in the cave. One of them, he quoted the Job when he actually was obedient, respectful son to his own parents. He will give them the food first, the drink first, the milk. And then he found them asleep and he waited for 4 hours till they woke up. And then they drank the milk, and Allah accepted that as a major act, standing your family hungry and your children hungry, your wife hungry. You preferred your mom and dad first, and you waited for 4 hours. And some say they waited till the Fajr, till they woke up for Fajr. And then after they drank, he went back to his family. Have I done this for your sake? And Allah knows it was for his sake. So he made the rock move. And the second one, who was trying to sleep with his cousin, and she wouldn't let him. And then she was desperate for money, and she accepted to allow him. And then she told him that that's haram, still haram. And he left her and he left the money. And he said, if I've done that for your sake, please, let us out. And then the rock moved. And the third one, who invested the money, one day wage invested, and the guy came back to take his 1 day wage, and they gave him a valley full of cows and sheep and things, and the whole opened, and they all were. So you need super special things in your life. How you can do that, I don't know. By probably you do something for 20, 30 years, I don't know. Probably you do one event, one incident when you really were able not to do anything about it, and then you've done for the sake of Allah, and then you need one of these or two of these, and
That's easy.
the cave.
Mom and dad. Suleiman, go. You're listening.
Yeah, after you milk the cow, where do you keep the cow?
The good thing is, Allah showing so merciful. He's saying you have thousands of opportunities in your lifetime.
Yeah,
By doing one of them, you can get it, but
do something really,
yes,
super special.
Yeah, we have to be aware of the situation Allah gave you.
And the thing is that you don't want to say it to people, I've done this or I've done that. But when you say it to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and He knows you're doing it, you've done it for His sake, usually, and then you will find Allah will rescue you. And you could find many people have done a lot of things in wars and famines, and you don't need that. I mean, the many Muslims here, like Hani Banna, he went to Afghanistan when nobody was even able to walk there, and he was able to reach the poor and give them the food, and they gave him this wasn't knighthood, it was MPA. What was it?
MBE.
MBE. Yeah, he went to the Queen and he was given the title and things. One of the first people who were given the title. Quite few did like this, they went there to go. Um, I mean, my son-in-law, Hanadi's husband now, is building a lot of health facilities for the cholera spreading in Lebanon, in Syria, and Iraq, and in Pakistan also, and there's another place, Nigeria. But he's there, open-ended. He developed skills in building medical facilities in war areas. He's done that in many places. So he's now in Iraq, and inshallah, for the sake of Allah, obviously it's part of his job. But I'm sure there will be situations. I mean, when I went to the camps in Jordan, went to the camp in North Syria, I've seen people really doing a lot of amazing things for the sake of Allah, when they can just leave the country and go somewhere else. And you all remember Yunus. I don't know whether I should bring the picture or not, but that was on the internet, how they took the picture. وَذَنُّونَ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مُغَاضِبًا فَظَنَّ أَن لَّن نَّقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ أَن لَّا إِلَٰهَ إِلَّا أَنتَ سُبْحَانَكَ إِنِّي كُنتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. So this phrase, you call Allah Azza wa Jal, and He said, لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. No God but you. All the praise to you. I was a wrongdoer. And Allah Azza wa Jal saved him from the whale who spat him out to the shore. And then what you said, if you make dua to your son, that's one of the things is extremely desirable that Allah will answer. And obviously the mother make dua to the son. The thing is that you need to do so many good things that your family will make dua to you. But when you damage the car, you hit this, and how are you going to make dua if you already spoiled so many things? I developed the way that, if any of my children do something wrong, I make dua for them to Allah reward them, but them correct them, with them better. But when you are angry, you might make the wrong dua, and then Allah Azza wa Jalla might respond. And some women do actually make the wrong dua, and they.
I heard story that mother always, when she was angry, she used to curse his son by saying, "May Allah make you Imam of Kaaba." Instead of cursing, you say like curse. May Allah make you Imam of Mecca.
They become
And he became Imam of Mecca.
Yeah. King Abdullah, the Saudi king, he employed had a servant from Sudan, and he used to call him Abdullah. So one of the leaders went, your servant, can he give Abdullah? Because Abdullah invented something called Khadim al-Haramain al-Sharifain. Khadim, the servant. And this guy wasn't able to pronounce the khe. You say Hadim al-Haramain. Hadim means destroyer. So when you come to him and say Hadim al-Haramain, he said, no. Don't call me Khadim al-Haramain. Just call me Abdullah. Because that's true story. It's not. So he said, just call me Abdullah. Don't say Khadim al-Haramain, because he will say Hadim al-Haramain. What can I do for you? Hadim al-Haramain. في زول برا خارج زول يشوفك هادم الحرمين. Or if you are traveling, you make dua to friend, brothers, sisters. Or if you are in ibadah, any ibadah, you do dua in ibadah. This is why people do dua in salah, people do dua in zakah, in hajj, and Jumu'ah, Friday prayers, and people do dua in Umrah and things, and when you're doing zikrullah Azza wa Jal, make dua as well. So in ibadah, any ibadah, make dua. The Prophet ﷺ said if you do التحيات and you do salawat al-Ibrahimiyya, And then he said you can do as many dua as you want. And make dua when you're making sujood. This will be the closest to Allah Azza wa Jal. The ethics of dua is you need to be facing the Qibla. Better, obviously. It's between adhan and iqama. A dua will not be rejected between adhan and iqama. We say اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت سيدنا محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة العالية الرفيعة وبعث اللهم المقام المحمود الذي وعدته وأوردنا حوضه وارزقنا زيارته وشفاعته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. It's a long dua, and if you make that to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will entertain you on Hawd in Jannah, that you will be, yeah, and Maqam, which is the only one person will get it, Maqam al-Mahmud, and you do salah on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you do salah on the Prophet, that will be accepted straight away. And if you do salah at the beginning of dua, and you do the salah at the end of the dua, Allah will accept also what's in between. This is why our teachers always say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ja'alna hadina mahdiyyin wa la taj'alna dhalina wa mudallin. Allah shfina shifa'an la yughadiru saqaman. Allah, ask Allah to cure you, to give you, to treat you, to help you, protect you. And then at the end, you say, wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So in between two salah.
But I usually say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.
Yeah, Nabi al-Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Yeah. And you give charity for your dua. SubhanAllah, I mean, I know somebody just gave charity. It was immediate. Personally, for people, could be immediate. Allah Azza wa Jal will immediately, give. That's
Especially in
or release money sometimes.
especially in Medina, Mecca, you will get straight to a reward and you will get straight to a punishment. Especially
Could be.
Hajj on
Yeah, it could
Mecca.
be. But I know somebody just gave £500 charity, and he got some money released. Didn't tell me how much, but 10 times more than 10 times more, 20 times more, something like this. So, and to pray 2 rak'ah also, this is one of the things which is also preparing for dua. You better do wudu. I'm going from the right to from the left to the right. Dress, have wudu, and keep begging Allah Azza wa Jal, and crying and begging Allah Azza wa Jal. And you need to eat halal food. Make sure your money is halal, your food is halal, and there's nothing haram in your house or in your stomach or dresses or whatever. SubhanAllah, I found a small coat in the car park, brought it to the mosque. I think it's your, as far as Maryam, is it?
Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like Maryam. Must be halal money.
There's a code that we can't find her, potentially. We couldn't find her code today, so maybe it's
Yeah, I found it outside, so I brought it here. It was wet. I put it on the radiator, but she took it this morning, it seems. Yeah, because it disappeared. I brought it last night.
yeah.
Yeah.
This morning we're looking for it.
Yeah. She came here, probably she's good for me.
Yeah.
And always halal food. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Atib mat'amak tustajabu da'wa." Make sure your food is halal. Allah will respond to your dua. Always have, when you want to make dua, have fresh breath, and dress in white also, they say. Why to ask, the way to ask. Raise your hands. The Prophet ﷺ used to raise his hands until they see even under his arm. The problem when you talk to some people who have no knowledge or twisted knowledge, they actually mix two things, which is من أحدث في أمرنا ما ليس منه فهو رد. If the hadith was ما ليس فيه, will be exactly, has to be the way it's done. So you say the Prophet raised his hands only when he was in war, only when he was in no, he raised his hands when he was making dua, which is
The question they put wrong way, yeah? Because if they say Prophet ﷺ did it only once, but Prophet ﷺ used to do every day. But what do I say? If they say Prophet ﷺ didn't, but if you put question other way around, you have a proof that he didn't. For example, he did, but it's not like an other way around question when you twist. Some, for example, they say Prophet ﷺ never wear turban, yeah, wear hat. But Prophet ﷺ, can you have proof that he always wear the hat?
Not always,
No, like
and not all the color. Yeah.
yeah. But if you put question other way around, they cannot answer it because they put question other way around.
Yeah, they mix two things. We are not actually copying a set of rules there. We're copying a manhaj, a system, a message, a way of life, part of it, of its type. Like some say, oh, never pray, make dua after salah. But he made dua after salah. He never made it. And the things they miss, if Prophet ﷺ did it all the time, become farad. Because this is what he said about witr, about tarawih. He said, if I pray every day, become witr, become farad on you. And then when the hajj, when he said, if I say yes every year, become farad. Naam.
Isn't the correct way to have your hands that you shouldn't have your palms facing down?
Raise your hands, one of the things.
Yeah, but to have the out, like the inside of your hands like this.
In salat al-istikhara and dua al-istikhara, they put them other way around, upside down. Not istikhara, it's istisqa. When they go ask for rain, they make it upside down. But when you ask for something, here you're humbling yourself so much to Allah that I really deserve the punishment, but you are more merciful in things. But you raise your hand, you raise them high, you raise them this way, but it's one of the sunnah, and never against yourself or others. Also, no matter how depressed you are, how much sad you are, and never give precise number. Oh Allah, I want 5,655 pounds. Like Jiha. Jiha is a comedian, Syrian comedian, and a Turkish comedian. We don't know, but he's a true person. He wasn't a Turkish guy. And he had a Jewish neighbor. And every night he make dua, Allah, 100 gold coins. 99 I will not accept. Oh Allah, 100 coin. And his neighbor, he thought, see whether he would accept 99 or not. He threw 99 in a bag. And Jiha counted them and said, oh, you owe me one. So he never gave precise. Why is that?
There was a hadith when Prophet one day did a lot of dua, long dua. And when Sahabi said, we couldn't remember all the dua. He said, you ask what Prophet asked, and you ask what Prophet asked for protection.
Allahumma inna nas'aluka ma sa'alaka minhu 'abduka wa nabiyyuka Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa nasta'idhu bika mimma ista'adha minhu 'abduka. So you ask Allah for all the things the Prophet asked for, and you ask Allah to protect you from all the things the Prophet asked. And the Prophet was sallallahu alaihi wasallam moving around Kaaba making dua, and he and Abu Bakr and Umar and a Bedouin guy, he said, I don't know all these beautiful dua you make and things. He said, what do you do? What dua you make? He said, I say, Allah Jalla, forgive me and enter me Jannah. And he said, we all do around that. All our dua is around that. And so, يدندن حولها. And with finger pointing up, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. Some said, you need Allahumma gfir, especially when you make dua for a dead person. You asking a question? I saw your hand up. Asking me or Allah? You asking me? Yeah. Yeah, this is what some scholars say. It's a sunnah to dress in white. Obviously, the more you begging, the more you want to do everything, mentioned to get your dua mustajab now.
I think your earlier question about why you don't ask for a specific number is that we can't ask for that much, but Allah can give. So if we don't ask a number, Allah will give us a lot.
The person who asked for, they say, the teachers, yes, ask from fadlillah. They said, do you want fadl or adil? They came and they said, what's the difference? Want adil? Adil, you get exactly the same. Fadl, you get from the bounty of Allah. So you ask from Fadlullah, and you ask, yes, he might not deserve it. May Allah forgive him and give him. Yes, I know he doesn't deserve, but Allah forgive him and give him or her and make. Because sometimes you want to make dua and say, I don't think they,
It's like barakah.
I don't think they
Pyramid.
deserve. They needed that punishment from Allah. But in spite of that, you say, Allah forgive them. They made mistake. They are, immature and this and this. And never make dua unjustly. Allah destroy his car, destroy his house. It's not actually. And you need to be serious in your dua and sincere and with full emotion and trusting that Allah will answer. And you need to ask the dua which you really can't do nothing about it. Like I teach my students, you can't make dua which you can do. Or a glass of water, or I fancy Big Mac and things. And
I met one scholar. Yeah, he said, I went to Kaaba. I'm a so high level caliber of scholar, but I couldn't cry. But I met a lady. She came from Turkey. Yeah, she never studied, educated. She always was housewife, but she was crying so much in front of Allah. It's hard. Allah can give a soft heart to him. He wants.
when I went with my wife to Hajj, we couldn't cry and make dua and cry or make zikr and really cry until we finished ifada and we went and prayed to Ruk'a in Maqam Ibrahim, but inside, and then we burst in tears. And somebody spotted us, a friend of my wife, said, "Oh, we passed you and you were like this," and exposed about. Yeah, but it took us long time, after we've done nearly all the Hajj. When you do the tawaf and you finish the Hajj and things, and obviously you need to go through the Jamarat. And Zakaria عليه الصلاة والسلام said, ربي إني وهن العظم مني واشتعل الرأس شيبة ولم أكن بدعائك ربي شقيا. His dua never been let down. Zakaria was never let down. Always Allah fulfill his dua. Even Allah gave him the child Yahya, and أصلحنا له زوجة. He made his wife look young, like just married or something. أصلحنا له زوجة. So your dua might get you a lot of reward. Sometimes he doesn't only need not answer this dua, he just need more punishment then. So you really need to be careful. Allah is not play game and things and tricks on Allah. Allah knows that you don't mean it and you're just trying to, or testing Allah. You can't test Allah. A guy said to Isa alayhi will Allah protect you if you make dua? He said, yes. Throw yourself off the mountain and see whether Allah will protect you or not. He said, the master tests the slaves, not the slave tests the master. So you're not testing Allah. If you are this, you do that, and no, you can't do that. Only awliyaullah. I mean, Marwan, he mentioned about Ajrumiyah, that when he wrote it, he threw it in the water. And he made dua that if it is sincerely done for your sake, protect it from losing the ink. But it wasn't like, insoluble ink, was it? One of the. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين. Any questions?
Just one thing. You said you don't do dua against others unjustly. You use the word unjustly. Does it mean
The Prophet ﷺ made dua against the tribe who killed the Sahaba and they stole their money and things. Yeah, you didn't like his house, you didn't like his car, he's blocking you away, make dua for him. It's not like, something you should really do. But if people who are really criminal destroyed Muslims and killed them and tortured them.
Somebody, I'm not saying somebody, committed injustice against you, or
I think it's Prophet said, you have a right to make dua against your oppressor, but it will be like you finish. No, if you make dua, Allah will accept because he was unjust toward you. But if that's it, you don't have any